Hey y'all, welcome back to Horse Ranch Mountain Farm. I just got back from the post office and I'll show you what I got. Got all our little chicks. Let's get them put in their brooders real quick. Guys, we got these, I call them brooder plates. We got them from, I can't remember, Tractor Supply. I started getting those a couple of years ago. We were worried about the heat lamps catching stuff on fire, and man, these things work great. Start getting these chickens pretty. Alright guys, let me show you one of our setups for our chicken brooders. This is just a gigantic storage tote. And we've got a video on how we make these. I said that already. Then we just put these plate heaters in here. Shavings in the bottom. Container of feed. And water, and we put apple cider vinegar in our water for our chicks, and it helps build their immune systems up. It's like a probiotic.
Well, I've got my granny bonnet on, Nathan calls it. My mother-in-law and father-in-law brought this back from Amish country for me because I was telling them I wanted a bonnet like my granny used to have, which I don't know if granny had one like this, but I really like this style, and it just keeps the heat off of my head and off of my face. So they brought it back for me, and I use it in the garden a lot. But I wanted to bring y'all along as I do some chores today, and then I'm going to show y'all Lulu, which is our cow that's due to calf in August. But she's getting really big, and I wonder if she might calve at the end of July. Hold on and I'll let you see. And if this is your first time here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. So this is Miss Lulu. Let's see if I can get, you can see how wide she is. There's such Ginger beside her, and Ginger isn't pregnant, but she's just a big cow. She's a full-size Jersey. But Lulu is getting bigger and bigger. And I know she's got to be miserable because of the heat. Because it has gotten really hot this week, y'all. And these flies about drive them nuts. We do spray them sometimes whenever they come into the milk stanchion. Whenever I go to milk Clarice or Nathan Milks, and we spray them, but it just doesn't work very long because it's a natural spray. It doesn't have bad chemicals in it because we don't want to use any of that stuff. We don't want to spray anything on them that we wouldn't want on our bodies. So my gladolias are doing really well. They're so pretty. Nathan already picked me some that's in a vase on our island in there. And the lavender's blooming all pretty. And the zinnias. Now these are our tomatoes, and they are not looking very good, y'all. This is the first year since we bought our property that our garden just has not done so well, but it rained and rained so much that several areas of the garden flooded, and everything's just not doing the greatest. Like, usually my garden looks so beautiful, so I've been kind of disappointed in the way it looks this year, because I hadn't had a garden do like this in a long time. But I know you have some of those years where your garden looks better than other years, and you harvest more than you do other years. And at the beginning of the gardening season, I went at it really hard, and then I got a little virus, I guess it was. I don't know, but it just zapped my energy, and I had no energy, which is not like me, especially during gardening season. Usually I'm wide open and have tons of energy, so I had to take it easy and get strengthened back up and get my energy back. And now I'm finally back to normal, thank the Lord and praise the Lord. That zinnia must have got dropped right there on accident. But our cabbage is looking really good. And Nathan sprayed it with neem oil the other day because we're starting to have stuff eat it. And then I saw a worm on it. Of course, I did dust these before we went on our vacation with diatomaceous earth. And of course, it about rained it off. But y'all, it rained and rained and rained. And then it just rained, I think like one afternoon is what a friend of ours said whenever we left, and then we haven't had hardly any rain since then. Now I got a weed eat in between these rows. It looks like a growed up mess, I know. But when you work full time and do a garden and YouTube, it's hard to keep up with everything. So sometimes you get behind, and then you get caught back up, and then start all over again. The tops of the green beans are looking good, and they are starting to bloom. So maybe we will have some good green beans this year and enough to save seeds. Because I have no more seeds left after I planted both of these rows, because I shared with a couple of friends of ours. And you can see something's been eaten on these right there. And I dusted them before we left for vacation. And then I got part of the row sprayed, but I've got to finish spraying the rest with neem oil. And you can see it didn't rain a whole lot because that diatomaceous earth is still on there from the day before we left for our vacation. We just took a little vacation. The place we went was just about 3 hours away. We went to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. So it's just a quick place to get away to. It was really nice. We stayed at this really nice campground called Riverbend. I think that's what it's called. I'll put a link in the description. But it was so nice. And then they had church on Sunday. And we went to it and had a really good service there. Now my tiller tore up, and I'm waiting on the guys to fix it for me so that I can till up from there to our squash down there. And then I've got to get some okra planted, and I've also got to get some peas planted. Now it isn't too late to plant peas because my Aunt Lil told me that some older man told her years ago to plant your, I say peas, but y'all, I'm talking about like Crowder peas, October beans, black-eyed peas, purple hull peas, zipper peas. That's what I'm talking about. And he said not to plant them till June. So that's what I'm gonna do this year. I did it one other year and we did have a pretty good harvest that year, which one of the cows got out and ate some of it. And so that's whenever we had a little calf and she would run right through the fence. It's like the electric fence didn't even faze her. And this is the horseradish. But as you can see though, the bottom of the beans look horrible. Let me zoom in so you guys can see. But it just looks horrible. And I thought, oh my gosh, I hope that I'm gonna have some green beans because I have no more seeds left. And these seeds were given to me from an elderly lady at our church in her 90s. And I love these beans. And I definitely pray that we have enough to save for seed. And that they don't die and that they produce a lot. Whenever my mom and me talked to Miss Anderson, she said that the reason the bottom of the beans were yellow is from too much rain. So what I'm hoping will happen is they'll continue to grow and do good. But as you can see, the bottom of them just look absolutely horrible. That's a piece of my cardboard that blew over here. Now while I had whatever I had that zapped my energy, we didn't put a lot of videos out during that time. Nathan did do a few little YouTube shorts, but that's why we hadn't had a lot of content out. And as you can see, I'm drinking my glutamines to help coat the lining of my stomach, because your gut bacteria has a ton to do with your health. So I'm just trying to stay on top of things. Now, I didn't go to the doctor, but I just took my herbs and started eating more nutritious foods, because I think we all get on that little wagon occasionally where we just grab stuff that's quick because our lives are so hectic and crazy. And I hate to do that, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. And so sometimes our body tells us, hey, I need more nutritious food and you need rest. So that's what I had to do. But y'all, wanted to show y'all. We got all of this mulch, which I'm so excited about. Let me walk on the front side too. A tree service was working up here where we live. It's a big pile. So I'm hoping to finally get the garden the way that we've always wanted it. But it's a pretty massive pile, so I was excited. But the folks with the tree service was working up here in the valley where we live, and we had asked them prior if they had any extra, if we could have some. And so they called us and said, hey, we're working in your area, would you like some? And we're like, yes. So what I want to do with this is, some of you may know about this, but it's called Back to Eden Garden, and you can look that up on YouTube. But it just helps to cover the ground, because the dirt, if it's bare dirt, does not like to just be bare. Like you're gonna have weeds or something growing. And so whenever you put this mulch on it, it helps to suppress the weeds. But as it breaks down, it puts nutrients back into the soil. And earthworms love it. So it draws the earthworms. So whenever they're pooping and aerating the soil, it just helps the soil to do better, so then your plants do well. Now tomorrow I'm going to be getting ready to go to the Blairsville Farmers Market, or the Union County Farmers Market. And what I'm going to take is, I've got some flowers over there growing. I'm going to make some arrangements. I've also got my garlic that's ready to be pulled, so I am going to sell some of it. And then I've got onions at the end of the row over there below the garlic, and then these onions, and then I'm not sure what else. I think I got some herbs that are actually ready to be harvested, so I'll take some of those. Now most of everything in this row right here, until you get down there, we've already pulled. And then my mom planted a few little patty pan squash in there, and I only grew a few because our oldest son Isaac likes them. But I don't too particularly care for them. I'll eat them, but they're not my favorite. So I just grew a couple of plants for him so that he'll have those. So that's where I'm going to start first. So I'm not sure if I showed y'all, but we put an electric fence all the way around the garden this year. So if any critters get out, they can't get to our garden because we got a pretty strong energizer to try to keep stuff out of here. Now, granted, if a bunny rabbit wants in, it's probably gonna get in. If a groundhog or, you know, smaller animals, they can still get in. But we've got one pretty low to the ground and then one midways. So it'll keep the big critters out at least. Now deers can hop over the fence, but we don't usually have too much of a problem with them. And I think that's because of our dogs. Alright, I'm gonna show y'all what I got done. I didn't get everything done, but as you can see, the rows look a lot better. Now those right there are multiplying onions in with some of that grass. And there's my piece of cardboard I gotta get up. But anyways, I weeded down all these rows and got everything looking where I can see and make sure there's no snakes there. Oh, there's a little bird over here. Let's see if I can get him. I'm gonna try to walk over here closer and see if I can get him. Oh, he flew off. But anyways, in the middle right down there, those are some potatoes from last year that came back. But I got the rows weed-eated. I'll take you down through here and show you. Everything looks so much better. Those dahlias still have a little ways before they bloom. Zucchinis, which they just got a couple of blooms on them. And then you can see we picked one squash, but they're just starting to put on little bitty squash. So we'll be having fresh squash soon. It's so exciting when stuff starts to come in. And there's a few more. So everything looks a ton better. I told Nathan, see, last year, I think it was last year, the year before, I planted the rows far enough apart that I could till down them, so it cut down on the weed eating. But we're trying to build the soil up, so I hate to till it so much, except at the beginning of the season, whenever we first start to plant. Because we want to keep adding organic matter to it, so it'll help with this red clay. But we'll eventually get there. I've still got to weed eat down these rows, y'all. And I gotta pull some onions tomorrow and some garlic and get ready for the market. Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 5. Build ye houses, and dwell in them, and plant gardens, and eat the fruit of them.
Thanks for watching, guys. You guys have a blessed day. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.